The based have been named, block lists are being made, and virtue signaling has begun. This all started with Mbint creating a list of the based. Some examples included Leaflet, Kirsha, Filion, Cha-Cha, Powder, Rev, Pippa, and the list goes on. It's a pretty extensive list. And once the list had been created and began to circulate, it began attracting certain individuals. And these individuals wasted no time in talking some smack about them. One guy even said, and I quote, "People you'll see in the deepest layer of hell." Like, why would I find Powder and Kirsha and Filion in the depths of hell? That literally makes no sense. That is by far one of the goofiest things you could say. And if you thought it just stopped there, oh, you would be very much mistaken. And it was several times that they called all the people on these lists PDFs and Nazis. And keep in mind, it's simply based on the fact that these VTubers do not politically agree with them. I mean, God forbid you have a different opinion, especially if it doesn't align with their beliefs. Otherwise, they're going to consider you problematic, an awful person. These are the most terrible people you could ever meet. They're filled with a bunch of PDFs and racists, spewing Nazi LARP. Of course, them calling these VTubers Nazis or PDFs is a very common thing you see all the time. And when you check the bio of these people, well, one guy even started making his own list of what he considered to be actually based VTubers. I've noticed that they've also compared Rev to like a very terrible person, and they often seem to have an extremely deep hatred for him. I'm not entirely sure why that is. I think it might be simply because of the fact that Rev makes videos of them and posts them on YouTube and kind of exposes them for the whole world to see. And it really does not paint them or any of their friends or their leftist political leanings in any good light. Now, when you look at these types of people, you'll notice certain things. For example, when they say, "Oh, it's a free block list," and then she says, "Oh, it's to inform my followers so that they can choose who to follow and who not to follow." It seems more than anything that she is in particular a performative virtue signaler, and that's not exactly too surprising. How many of these types of people on the political left are performative virtue signalers? It's a very bad habit that they have. Now, of course, she criticizes Cha-Cha because she made the ice joke. She even says they take everything good and make it gross. She says, "Oh," and even people ask, "What has Kirsha done?" And then she responds, "Oh, what hasn't she done?" And then links to a Reddit thread, and it basically said they're accusing her of transphobic things and white supremacist things. Not exactly surprising, we've heard this quite a while now. And of course she says most people on the list are right-wing grifters, or make edgy jokes to prey on incels. So overall, pretty standard performative virtue signal. I mean, even Straub was pointing out that it was basically performative. And of course, Rev obviously had made a video on it. But anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.